Hey everybody, my name is Alex Merced, and this is a video for Think Better++, where we're just trying to get conversation started so we can all understand each other. It's not about always necessarily convincing each other, but learning to understand each other so we can coexist better and coexist smarter. Now, today what I want to talk about is one of the most fundamental questions that underline every debate. Because the problem is if we aren't even on the same page with this question, then it's going to be harder to find any kind of consensus on other issues. So that issue is, what is the proper role of government? Everybody wants a better government, but how you define better can be different depending on who you're talking to, based on sort of what their views of natural human behavior and markets and inequality is. So the first view I'm going to outline is the progressive view of government. So basically what they do is they view government as sort of an equalizing or balancing force. So while markets can be good and provide people with opportunities to better their life, to build wealth and innovate and do all sorts of great things, markets left unchecked in the progressive view can create excesses or disparities, etc. So it's up to government to balance these out by basically acting sort of as a giant insurance company, which has theoretically two benefits. One, it can provide sort of a floor to the quality of life. So it's not necessarily about making sure everyone has the best life ever, but making sure that everyone sort of has a minimum sort of worst case scenario. So by redistributing wealth, providing everyone with sort of a basic level of healthcare, a basic level of education. It's not necessarily going to be the best education possible or the best healthcare possible, but a minimum that may be better than the minimum otherwise. And basically that's sort of the progressive argument. So yay for markets, but you need to tax in order to fund this sort of social insurance to sort of balance out or at least create a minimum worse outcome. Then there's sort of the paternalist view of government, where basically a civil society is built on certain sort of moral or ethical values, and it's really up to government to basically make sure that people behave the way they're supposed to behave, because if not, the people can just do whatever they want. It'll just degrade into chaos and chaos and a breakdown of civilization. That's sort of a more paternalistic view of government. And again, sometimes there's a mix and matching of these views. Then there's sort of what's called the minarchist view, where markets are great and markets really should be left to be markets, so that way they can generate wealth and opportunity for all, and natural market incentives play a role in making sure that resources are best allocated. But markets require a strong value of property rights. So the proper role of government is really just to make sure that the institution of property rights is upheld by having a legal system, so that way arrangements between individuals participating in the market can be upheld in certain rules as far as who owns what and what kind of arrangements are basically basic contracts and property rights are perfectly upheld, so that way people can know the rules of business and do business accordingly. And then basically managing a military to defend this area where the market exists. So in a sense, defending the country, so that way people within the country can be free and then transact freely among themselves through the legal system that the government provides. That's sort of the minarchist, meaning minimal rule view of government. Then there's sort of the decentralist view of government, in a sense where basically even things like legal services and defense services can be provided in a decentralized way, where you don't necessarily need one monopoly provider. And the idea would be sort of to for the government over time to facilitate the ability for more decentralized provisions of goods or services, and to sort of wean itself down to the point where the society can be self-sufficient without a central manager, in a sense. So those are sort of different views on the role of government. So again, you can go anywhere from having government be an insurance company, government be your parent, government just being a referee, or government being someone who's just looking to teach society how to take care of itself, so that way it doesn't have to be around anymore. But there are many more views, so in the comments, say what you think the role of government is. And have a discussion. If other people say something that you don't agree with, listen to what they have to say. Try to understand why they think their views are their views. Because we can only reach out to each other and help get each other to a place where there may be some agreement if we understand what is beneath what we think. Why do we think what we think? Not just tell people and wag your finger saying, think what I think because I think it's right. That doesn't work so well. And again, we want a more civil discourse so that way we can find better ideas and identify ideas that maybe aren't the greatest. My name is Alex Merced from Think Better++. Have a great day and enjoy.